What were you getting ready to do here? So the first thing you want to do is reinforce your action to target. Using the weight of the sword. Nice slash. Throwing the club. Throw it out there. So you see how they're all the same?
Yes.
Just one of those analogies will resonate a little bit better for you than others, right? So you go, okay, I'm ready to go that way. If this is a preoccupation, if contact with the ball is a preoccupation, you can't go out there.
Right.
Right? So did you see my video entitled Predict Solid Contact and Direction?
Yeah. Yes.
That is the gold nugget of all gold nuggets that allows you to go that way. Because if you're wondering about what's going to happen with your contact, you can't go to the target. You're stuck here.
Yeah, so I'm afraid I'm going to miss the ball.
Right. So that heads back to, okay, well, wait a second. If I go to the target, if I throw the club to the target, it feels like I'm not going to be able to hit that ball solid. I can't throw to the target. Yeah, that feels like I can go to the target and hit the ball solid. No, that ball's too far back in my stance. It's going to go way right if I hit it solid. And to go to the target, I have to reach back and lose all my lag and lose all my juice to go that way. And this feels like I have to go lunge after it to go to the target. If I don't hit it solid, it's going to go dead left. But here, wow, does this feel like I can go into that, diamond-shaped target that I gave myself. So I feel the weight of the club. I'm going to use the weight of the club to deliver my action to the target with a nice throw. What's it feel like when I throw? Oh yeah, it feels about like. And there's that, unbelievable compression, and where it feels so easy to produce. And because I had the right mindset heading into the shot. So inside your brain is a little section called the premotor cortex.
Yes.
Its sole purpose is to get you ready to perform a task. Well, what task are you giving your brain at the time of address? I'm going to hit this ball hard. How do I get through? Can't. So you spend all this energy and you split a rib and you don't have you have less speed. Your timing sucks because you're going over here and the brain is not activating that kinetic chain properly. Why would it? There's your target, right?
Yes.
It'd be way better to do that. Now you'd at least have a kinetic chain. You'd have this beautiful kinetic chain engaging. You have a lot more power. But on the other side of that, especially if you're losing a shot onto the side of the desert, you'd have a lot of rocks to break.
Yes.
So what we're looking for is over there, and we want to throw it over there, and whoa, does that engage nicely. And man, does that clear nicely. It'll clear, and this is what's so important. Everybody keeps putting the cart in front of the horse, where they say, well, you got to be in this position and that position and be careful. And then, well, what was the ultimate goal? Hit the ball or put the ball into the picture? So all of this stuff here relates to you putting the shot over there. So if I want to go to the right edge of that intermediate point, well, that's not going to work. That's not going to work. That can work. Top of the backswing, that still works. Okay, I can go in that direction now. I'm all set. So when I throw in that direction, well, the brain says, I need to shift weight about now and clear around now. And now we got a nice kinetic chain moving to the right edge of that intermediate point. If you don't have a destination, well, how much is the brain going to clear? No idea. I mean, it's roll the dice time now, right?
Yes.
So when you stay with your target and you match a nice action to move into that target, which is throw to the target or cut through the dandelion stem with the weight of the sword toward the target, then the beautiful action comes in. You get a weight shift, you get a nice clearing of the body, and how good is it going to be? We don't know, because everything that comes out of the brain comes out from scratch. It's like a box of chocolates. If you throw the club over there, it's going to be sweet, it's going to be tasty, but you don't know exactly what flavor it's going to be. That's why we have a short game. You know? So all you have is that, you know, lock in on that action. Be very familiar with your action. Allez-y, c'est beau. Vous allez au casier?
Salut,
Ça va bien? Pas de problème. So you have the flavor of your action, and it's very familiar. And you say, hey, if I plug in the feel of that action in that direction from this setup, it feels like I'm going to nut the ball.
Yeah.
Well, now you got your tools. So for you now, it's just to reinforce the action so that you're not guiding and steering, because when you guide and steer, you don't get a kinetic chain. Okay? And if you don't get that kinetic chain, you're going to lose your balance. You're going to be fighting your swing. So the key is to, you know, get a nice kinematic sequence. How do you do that? You throw stuff. Okay? That's all you got to do is throw stuff, and you get a golf swing, which is pretty doggone cool, isn't it?
Yes, it is.
So, any other questions you have?
No, I think that's what it's what you're saying. Just to feed back what I heard you say is
Yep.
that you're thinking about throwing the club out there, cutting through ground
Yeah.
out there.
Yes.
You're not swinging at the ball. You're swinging out there.
Have you thrown the club yet, though?
No, I haven't thrown the club. I've taken some swings.
Yeah.
Like it, and then I think I can do it on the practice swing, but then as soon as I get over the ball, then I go back to.
Yes. So that's something a lot of our viewers are experiencing too. Is, you know, Walt's just describing how he has a wonderful practice swing, good feeling a practice swing, and then when he goes to the ball, it all changes. Well, the reason why it changes is because when you're doing a practice swing, there's no ball as a target.
Right.
So you can't, you know, take a nice practice swing and now you're really in tune with the weight of the club, and you give it a good slash, which engages your kinetic chain. And then you get to the ball and you go, okay, I got to be careful, got to watch out, and you start manipulating the club to meet the ball.
Yeah, the brain just goes right to the ball is what I do.
That's it. So that's why that prediction process is so important. You say, okay, in order to feel the same practice swing, I got to throw the club. So what I recommend you do, and please don't throw graphite shafted clubs. They snap way too easy, okay? So go to the local used sporting goods store, like the Play It Again Sports, and you just get 5 or 6 steel shafted clubs from the $5 barrel with very worn out grips, because they throw better when the grips are worn out. And you go to the back of your range that you have there, and you say, okay, I'm going to put a bucket or whatever, a little flag about 25 yards out, and you start off with some overhead throws, some nice overhead throws like that, and you notice that when you go fishing, you don't miss. You cast the fishing pole there, you don't cast it up there, right? That's where the ball would be. So you cast the fishing pole over there, and then you do a couple. So if you look in my video entitled Head Position and Lag, I throw that. So we start off with this throw, and then we do a one-armed underhand throw toward the target. And then you'll notice that as soon as you go from here, the alignment will be really good because you're using your binocular vision.
Yeah.
And then you go underneath and you throw it from there, it's going to go left.
Yes.
That's because your side vision is now distorting everything. So put an intermediate point on the ground or a shaft and just say, okay, I'm just going to stay to the right of that shaft. And all of a sudden you start throwing the club beautifully. So the video entitled for that is Throw the Club Straight, Sean Clement.
Yeah.
Okay?
Yeah, because years ago I threw clubs with Freddie Shoemaker.
Yeah.
And they were going left all the time.
Right, exactly. Because if I'm walking down the street and you call my name, I'm going to turn this way towards you, right?
Yes.
I will never turn this way towards you. You're going to say, hey, Sean, are you okay, man? What have you been drinking last night? You start asking questions. So this is normal. So if I'm swinging towards you, This is what my brain is trying to see. Binocular.
Yeah.
Well, I just came right out of my shot and I just pulled it dead left. Or I got way ahead of the ball. So you see, this is going to the target. But then when I go to the target this way, I just got way ahead of the ball and just blocked it way out to the right. So that intermediate point in front of the ball is super critical. So now I'm going to the target, still going to the target, throw to the target. Notice how nicely I stay behind the ball. So I engage a beautiful kinetic chain without having to, throw myself all over the place.
Yeah.
And for those of you trying to shift weight, stop doing that. You don't want to, add to, okay, I got to load my weight and I got to shift my weight. Now your center's moving all over the place. Trust me, your body knows how to shift weight. Tell it to throw the club over there, it'll shift weight perfectly every time. It'll gather it nicely, and it'll go get the ground. It'll shift it perfectly and throw it in that direction. So after you've done a few underhands with one arm, then you do it with two arms again. Make sure you got that intermediate point, because it will go left.
Yeah.
And then with that intermediate point, you start throwing, and you go, wow, when I throw the club, it's completely abandoned. Then you start feeling that wonderful abandonment in the swing. So what's really cool, though, is the more you are able to abandon the throw, the more you get this. Well, this is really accurate and powerful. So the accuracy comes with, hey, where's this going to pass? So I'm throwing it out there, and it wants to pass here when I do that. So I get a little closer, throw it out there. See how I just nicking the tip of that tee?
Yeah.
With that.
Yeah.
So imagine with a golf club that's got a proper, hosel and very well put together, you're going to nut it beautifully every time. So does that make sense?
So I just have to practice throwing the club, and then also trust that the club head's going to go through the ball and make contact.
Yes.
And not worry about hitting the ball.
Well, that's did you see my video entitled "Hitting the Ball with the Eyes Closed"?
No.
I just put that out recently. So a lot of people don't realize where the club is passing in front of them. Can you see the blur of the club when you swing?
No, I don't see
The blur here. So
that.
yeah, okay. So when you're doing your practice swing or you're doing your throw, it's important to see where that club is passing when you're doing it. So pay attention to the blur. So for those of you who are, looking at the club while you're swinging, well, you never get to see where that club is passing during the swing. So if you don't have that reference, then you can't function. So I'm going to see where the club is going to pass. I'm going to see where the club is going to, scuff the ground.
Yes.
And then from there, I bring that in. So now I know that if I throw the club out there, it feels like the club is going to blur right through that dandelion stem. So now I've got my bearings. So now I can confidently throw the club out there without having to worry about ball contact. But if I don't see where that club is passing and I just randomly go to the ball, I can't find the distance between me and the ball.
So I should do on my practice swing, I should go back and forth to make sure the blur.
Yeah. So, yeah.
Then I move up to the ball.
Exactly. So you do your perpetual motion drill and you do it from a nice solid position and you see where the club wants to scuff the ground as you swing back and through. And you say, hey, the ball better be there. You saw that, right? So now I bring that machine to the ball. I don't do this. I don't do this. I got to bring it together. So now it feels like, hey, no problem if I just give it a nice throw. Like every one of my shots, I nut.
Yeah.
And that's kind of important because if you need to go to the target and you're not sure how well you're going to strike the ball, then you just can't go to the target. Your ball game's over the trip's canceled. Now you're forcing yourself to go there, and you literally have 180 degrees worth of possibilities.
Yeah.
Make sense?
Yeah. Yeah. No, that's really good. I've really got something solid here to work
Good.
with because I don't have good compression. I know that.
There we go. And that's why when you're hanging on to the arms and you're controlling the arms, how can you get speed? You can't. And if you can't, if the club isn't tracking, so when it tracks, so here's a tracking ball that's, you know, if I give it a little bit of speed, well, at the end of that thing, that's really taut, right?
Yes.
And when it's taut, it has that compression. That's what's going to compress the crap out of that golf ball without you even trying. So that G-force that's exerted in the swing, and you're just, you're using the weight of the instrument. That's what's really good about this video. You'll see a few things repeat over the course of the video.
Yeah.
And, thanks to you allowing us to do this for everybody, you get to benefit from that video as well, and that'll help you a ton.
Yes, definitely. I appreciate it.
Pleasure. Well, it's good to see you, and let me know how things go. And I'm looking forward to the next analysis where I'm going to see more velocity and more abandon in your swing.
Okay, cool.
All right?
Great. Yeah, definitely.
All the best, Walt.
Okay.
Happy New Year to you.
Au revoir.
Au revoir.